Hey y'all, thanks for joining me. This is part 3 of the EP Schism that we started with part number 1, which was the brief history of the Ecumenical Patriarch, how they are involved with the State Department, U.S. State Department, and intelligence agencies, and the second part, which talks about the arguments, the UOC persecution, the schismatics that have been collected into the OCU to legitimize them, and which are now under the EP. And we're going to be doing number 3 on the issue of Pan-Orthodox councils. So I'm going to start with last June 2025. Metropolitan Seraphim of Piraeus. He was speaking. It was during a theological conference in Piraeus. Okay, so he's calling for the convocation of a Pan-Orthodox council to resolve the Ukrainian ecclesiastical crisis. He emphasized the Ukrainian issue has caused a serious division in the Orthodox world. He expressed particular concern over the erosion of synodality in the contemporary Orthodox Church. The hierarch stressed that, according to church law, autocephaly is granted on the condition that the relevant decisions are approved by all interested autocephalous Orthodox churches. That's a quote. He provided a detailed canonical analysis of the Ukrainian issue, citing the rules of the ecumenical councils. He noted that the EP is the first among equals and presided over joint councils, but this does not give him the right to unilaterally make decisions affecting the entire Orthodox Church. And Synodality is based on 2 pillars. This is his quote: equality of votes and the belief that there is no primacy in Orthodoxy. He criticized efforts to expand Constantinople's authority. This is a Greek bishop, by the way. He also referred to historical precedents, recalling the disputes between Rome and the Eastern churches in antiquity. He quoted the rulings of the Council of Carthage, which rejected Rome's claims to supreme appellate authority over all jurisdictions. He gave special attention to the canonical status of those recognized under the Ukrainian autocephaly. He reminded the audience that according to patristic tradition, quote, inclusion in the unity and communion of the Church necessarily presupposes deep contrition and a sincere expression of repentance. He pointed out that 6 years after the granting of autocephaly to the OCU, only 4 churches have recognized it, an indication of the profound division within the Orthodox world. He called for the urgent convening of a Pan-Orthodox council to end the schism in the ecclesiastical community. He concluded his address with an appeal for unity. Above all, this is a quote, above all, that the division of Eucharistic communion among the autocephalous Orthodox churches may cease, underscoring the need to resolve this, quote, most important ecclesiastical matter, end quote, on a canonical basis. Yes, it does seem rather a crucial, significant issue. 6 years. Wow, okay. Now, we go from that time in June, when this Metropolitan Seraphim brought this up, call for a council, Pan-Orthodox council, on this OCU issue. Now we go to, on October 27th, under the chairmanship of His Beatitude Metropolitan Sawa of Warsaw and all Poland, the autumn session of the Holy Synod of Bishops of the Polish Orthodox Church were held. They the Synod reaffirmed the unchanging position of the Polish Orthodox Church regarding the existing divisions within world Orthodoxy and called for the convening of a Pan-Orthodox council aimed at restoring ecclesiastical unity. Yeah, once again. Earlier, in October 2022, the Council of Bishops of the Polish Orthodox Church had appealed to the Ecumenical Patriarch Bartholomew to convene a synexis of primates to discuss the situation concerning the OCU. At that time, the Polish hierarchs reaffirmed their non-recognition of the OCU's canonicity and emphasized the need for a conciliar resolution to the problem of schism. So they're trying to do this again, and I assumed that there was no answer in October 2022. And so now, on October 27th, 2025, they too were calling for Pan-Orthodox Council to deal with this issue. Lastly, a cleric of the German metropolis of the Church of Constantinople, Archimandrite Gerasimus Fragolakis, published a critical analysis of a statement by Metropolitan Theodosius Sebastia, that's the Jerusalem Patriarchate, in which the hierarch said his church was prepared to provide a venue for a meeting of primates aimed at resolving the Ukrainian issue. The Metropolitan mentioned that a council of consultation could be held in Jerusalem or in Amman. That would be Jordan. In response, Archimandrite Erasmus said that, quote, behind the beautiful words there is a clear intention to call into question the role of the Ecumenical Patriarchate, the first among equals, at least he's saying, not saying the first without equals, which alone possesses the institutional weight and canonical right to convene Pan-Orthodox councils. Yes, the EP is the one that convenes Pan-Orthodox councils. Fragolakis also called, quote, pro-Russian, end quote, Metropolitan Theodosius' words that he recognizes only the canonical Ukrainian Orthodox Church under Metropolitan Onufri. Quoting the hierarch, the Constantinople cleric put the word, quote, canonical, quote, in quotation marks, calling it so-called, also in quotes. He said that, quote, behind the good intentions of dialogue there is an attempt to demonstrate one's power and diminish Constantinople's ecumenical role. The invitation to be a neutral host loses its weight when the Jerusalem Patriarchate itself declares that in Ukraine it accepts only one ecclesial form and despises any other lawful ecclesial presence. This one-sided recognition represents not only a challenge to canonical order, but also a blow against conciliarity, the spiritual foundation of the Orthodox Church, the cleric of the Church of Constantinople asserted. So, we have this representative of the EP basically speaking for the EP, and I will tell you that any Orthodox church, any autocephalous, independent Orthodox church or bishop can call for a Pan-Orthodox council, on whatever issue they want to bring up that is concerning to them, that is affecting the Orthodox church communities. To me, I understand there's a lot of concern by them regarding what's happened in the past 6 years. Now, the Jerusalem one was more recent, the past month or so. So we have 3 separate incidences that are the bishops are calling for this. Not all, but some, and they're concerned, and they want to bring about this council. And yes, they can request it and they can call for it. The EP's job is to convene it and oversee the assemblies. That is the job of the EP. So everybody would have to agree. Now, we know that everybody's not going to agree with the EP there, and if he has any of his representatives there, that people aren't going, the bishops aren't going to agree. Now, I still think that they should be able to come together in a council and discuss it because it's way overdue. So we know eventually a council will happen, an ecumenical council after the war. But I just wanted to give you this information of what's going on. Now, I say this is part 3. It'll be the last part of this particular series. That doesn't mean I won't be talking about this issue anymore. I just I did a little series just from the history up to the schism that happened, cause of the schism, and what the results are to this and what's been going on. So, as you all know, if you've been following my channel, Thanks so much for watching, for following my channel, for subscribing, for liking my videos. If you haven't subscribed, please consider. If you like my content, find it worth watching. Also, if you'd like to support me in a more a deeper manner, you can click on the Super Thanks button below this video. It's in the panel below the video. If you don't see it right there, it will be in the 3 dots, and you can look under there for it. Or you can buy me a cup of coffee. The link is in the description. Thanks so much for watching.